Okay, so here are some techniques in using Google Drawing. First, for my class, you want to make sure that you save correctly. So go up here and make sure that you save exactly as you are instructed. I'll call this Drawing Test 1XX, but I'll replace the XX with my initials. Today I'll be Joe Smith, so make sure that you use your own. One of the first things you want to begin using are the shapes, so go up here. Click on the drop-down menu and find shapes. There's various shapes you can use, from a rectangle, to a circle, to a right triangle, a triangle, even a happy face, and even a heart. So pick the shape that you'd like to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use a rectangle. I'm going to click and draw my rectangle out, just like that. You'll notice that there's these manipulators, or squares within a square. These are called corners. This is called an edge. All of these are called handles, handlers, or manipulators. They all mean the same thing. See this right here? If you click on it, you'll be able to select it and choose its orientation. I can do a few other things as well. I can go up here to the paint bucket and I can click on a fill color to change the color. I'll change mine to orange, just like that. I can also change the borders as well. And to change the borders, you want to go here to where it says border color. So let me go ahead and change that to maybe a blue color, like that. I'll make it thicker so you can see it. It's called the border weight. If I click down here and change 8, you'll see that the border is blue and it's been changed. So I'll move this in place so it can act as my background. You always want to change the background in my class. So you'll do something like that. Now let's go ahead and pick another shape. I'll go here to shapes, and then maybe this time I'll use an oval, sometimes called a circle. I can make an oval just like that. If I push delete on my keyboard, it will go away. I can also try again to go to shapes and click on the oval. This time on your keyboard, hold the shift key. If you hold the shift key, you'll notice that it's a perfect circle no matter what happens. Just like that. And again, use the border fill and the fill color to change the color. So I've changed my oval, or my circle, so that it's green on the inside with a purple border. To make other changes, you can also go here to Format, and then Borders and Lines. And you'll see that you can change the border color, the border weight, even the border type. So I can make it even double if I wanted to, just like that. I can go back to Format, Borders and Lines, and I can also change the border directions. I can do a milt or join, just something like that. You probably can't see it, but do explore this opportunity here, so you can try to get more points in my class. Click on Borders and Lines, and you can see the types of dashes you can use. You can click here and just hold your mouse over it, and you can see the different types. We'll use this one, and you can sort of see the different techniques that come around the green circle with the purple border. Now let's draw another shape. So I'll go back here to Shapes, and this time I'll select a triangle, and I'll put the triangle just about right here, and I'll move it along the way. I moved it to the right side of the circle, but I'm going to distinguish it, so I'm going to change the inside color to maybe a red. And then I'll change the border to some other kind of color, so that we can make sure that we can see the difference. In this case, I'll choose a blue color. So I've changed my triangle to red, and the border a blue color, and I made it polka dots all the way around. But how do I get the red triangle to be behind the green circle? Here's how you do it. Make sure that you first select the shape that you want to change. In this case, we want to make sure that the red triangle is behind the green circle. So I'll select my item. I can also do that here by clicking on this button called Select. And here's how you make that arrangement. You'll go here to Arrange. See where it says Order? You can send it to backwards or send it to the back. To send it backward, it's just to send it backward with whatever other item or shape is touching it. To send it to the back means it goes all the way to the back. We'll just send it backward and watch what happens. And you'll notice now that the red triangle is behind the green circle. This is also helpful when you're trying to make a border as well. So sometimes you have to change the arrangement around of all of your shapes and your border as well. In this case, I meant your background here, the orange background. You may have to fiddle around with it just to make it work. So let's go ahead and draw some lines. You'll go here to the drop-down menu for the line, and you'll see that there's different types of lines available. There's a line, an arrow, elbow connector, curve, polyline, scribble tools. I'll make a simple line. I'll click here to line, and I'll sort of draw a line that just goes straight. So you'll notice I've made my line here. I can again change it, and change its orientation and direction in any way. I can also change its border or its thickness as well. But I can also go here and change it to an arrow if I wanted it to, or click and drag another arrow just like that. I can also change the type of arrow to whatever I want. And I can also change its direction on the other side. I can also make it thicker as well, just like that. Let me show you some other tools that students use for me. They select line, and then they select this scribble tool, and watch what happens. So when I select that tool and click and drag, I can easily make some kind of scribble on the actual document. So let's try another tool. If I click down here on the drop-down menu for the lines, I can click on Polyline and watch what happens when I click and drag. And drag, and drag, and drag. And it makes nice, perfect angular sides or lines. I can also double-click or click and hold, and I can fill it in. If I fill it in, I'm able to change the color on the inside. The tool that students love the most is called the Curve tool. If I click here and click on the Curve tool, watch what happens when I click on it. It sort of acts like a polyline, but when I click and hold it, I can make actual curves. And the reasons why students love this tool is because it perfects almost all the curves. And so that's how you can use some of the shapes. There's other techniques and tools you can use here, including adding a text box. There's your shapes again. You can also add a word art, and there's your lines again as well. You can also include an image, which you can upload from the computer, or you can search right here using Google. And you can change the background, which will give you more points, at least for my class. And that's some of the techniques you can use regarding your drawing tools.